So 2024 is going to be your year, right? What is going to make it different from the time that you said 2023 was going to be your year? What about 2022? Maybe you can stretch back as far as 2021. Now, I can tell you that 2023 for me was a very, very, very interesting year. It was my second full-time year in entrepreneurship, and I started my fourth business in 2023 and left my third business in 2023. And I think I learned the lesson that there really are four main components to eventually finding success. So in today's video, I'm going to break down to you what those four components are and give you a game plan for how you can look to make sure that you've got all of those covered in your year for 2024. So I call this the success equation. And at least from my experience from last year, it wasn't until I had all four of these components that I really started to see things click. So we'll start off with the first one, which is clarity. Nothing you do matters unless you know exactly what you need to be doing. Now, it actually starts really higher up. It starts with actually knowing where you want to go. And something that you'll see with my content is that it even goes deeper than that. It actually starts with who you want to become. So if you notice my previous video, the CreatorOS Notion dashboard, took me 3 years to build. A really significant portion of that, or part of that, is the vision boarding exercise, where you think about who you want to become. And this could be entrepreneurs, this could be business people, sports people, athletes, whoever the hell you want to be like. But you have to go and choose who you want to be like. And there's a reason why, is because those people are there because they have different standards to you. Now, once you've decided who you're going to be, you then need to decide how the hell you are going to become that person. And that's where you break things down into goals, targets, and projects. So I like to break things down into two types of things. First, we have life-changing goals. Now, for me, I do this in yearly chunks and quarterly chunks. So I have a yearly chunk where I'm like, where do I want to get to by the end of the year? Now, these could be top line revenue, this could be number of followers, this could be really big, they should be scary, they need to be scary, big targets that you can lock onto. And once you've locked those in, you remind yourself of those every single day, which again is a really key part of how I've designed the Creator operating system, so that every single day, ideally multiple times a day, you are reminded of your big vision goals. So you have those goals, and you then break those life-changing goals into momentum building projects. Now, I'm not even going to take credit for this. I took this from the number one mindset coach in the world, Ed Milet. Shout out to Ed. Hopefully get to meet him one day, play golf with him. He talked about this in one of his recent podcasts about goal setting. It's not about selecting categories for your goals, but actually just breaking goals down into life-changing goals that get you fucking excited, and then breaking those down into the projects, the momentum building projects that are going to take you there. So for me, I'll give you an example. One of my big goals for this year is to build the business to at least £50,000, or which equates to about $70,000 in monthly revenue by the end of the year. That is a big giant leap for me and my business. And so far, earlier this year or last year in 2023, I was part of an agency which we made it to around $40,000 per month. And that was really sporadic work, client work. Now I've got a really clear plan of what I need to do and how I need to get there. I need to know the number of students that I need to bring in a month. I need to know how many calls I need to have to be able to close that many students. I need to know how many DMs I need to send. I need to know how much ad spend I need to make. So now I finally have clarity. So now I have clarity of what the big vision is. I can now break down that into projects, and because I've used the next part of the success equation, I know exactly what to do to get there. And that is, I have a proven system to get there. So last year I spent just shy of $9,000 in the final 2 quarters of the year. So the final half of the year, I spent just under $9,000 on my education, joined some programs, joined some courses, got a mentor, and I finally got absolute crystal clarity on what I need to do to build my business. Now, guess what? I followed those the systems that someone else had made work, and I put them to my stuff, and they work too. So that is number 2. You can actually buy proven systems from people. Do not think entrepreneurship is about reinventing the wheel. It is about going and seeing what works, trying it out, and then innovating and trying to make it better. That's all it is. That is all entrepreneurship is. Then the third element of the success equation is accountability. Now this is, frankly, 99.9% of people just don't have this. Like, they just do not have anything, any systems, any methods, anything to hold them accountable. So what do I mean when I say accountability? Well, accountability is really just some sort of system or framework that keeps you adhering to the goal and the game plan. So you have clarity on where you want to go. You have a proven game plan, proven systems to get you there, and you need some sort of mechanism to keep you adhering and keep you on that path. Now, I run CreatorLaunch, which is in itself essentially an accountability system. We have multiple levels of accountability. So the first one is that there is one-on-one coaching calls with me. So my students get one-on-one coaching calls with me, and I get to hold them accountable to our systems. The second is an innovation that I'm adding this year, which is I'm going to be starting accountability pods. Now, this is taken from an experience that I had at university when I was at dental school. So when I was a dentist, I started my first year. It was a 4-year course. And in my first year, I came close to the bottom of my group, 60 people or so in the group. Keep in mind, there's smart people in here, super, super smart people. And in my first term, I realized I need to fucking figure something out. Otherwise, I am not going to graduate this course. And my dream was to become a dentist, become a doctor, start helping people. And what I noticed was that there were these 4 dudes who were all working together. And sadly, I didn't get to meet them in my first kind of week of university. I missed out on some socializing stuff. So I missed out on the opportunity to network. And then by the time the course started, everyone had just automatically migrated into these pods. That was just social engineering, and there was nothing that I could do about it. I missed the boat. So what I noticed though was that these 4 dudes, they were all getting like top of the group. So in the exams that we'd have, top of the group. And I was like, I need to get in that group. So over the course of the next 4 months, I tried to weasel and snake my way into this group of 4 dudes. And I'll tell you what, these guys did not want to let me in because they knew what they had was gold. They knew that the power of the the group dynamics and the accountability of having another guy just saying, dude, you need to add to this mission. And the mission was to become the best. And I finally got in. And it was only after I finally got in, after months and months and months and months of trying, and that was just me sitting next to them at lunch at the cafeteria, sitting next to them during lectures, I was determined. I got in, and 3.5 years later, we all graduated in the top, I think 5% of the year group. I came second in the year. And that was only because, genuinely only because I surrounded myself with other A-star players. So that is one of the innovations that I'm going to bring to CreatorLaunch, is I am going to create accountability pods where I'm going to fit students with other students, and they are going to be responsible for pushing themselves every single month. So that's one of the innovations I'm really excited about. Have not seen this type of thing in any sort of programs, and I think that's one of the benefits of me actually having been to university, 7 years of university, actually seeing how education is best done. Now, education in itself is very different, but they definitely do get some things right. So that's one of the innovations that I'm very excited to start this year at CreatorLaunch. So that is one of the accountability systems. Another one of the accountability systems is every single week, at the beginning of the week, we set our intentions for the week in our accountability group. So we have a Telegram accountability group where every single Monday we do this exercise called 5 Minute Monday, where every single one of us, we put in our biggest wins from last week, or our biggest win from last week, our challenge that we had, which we could have done better from last week, the thing we are most proud of, and then our big rock project for the week. Now, most people never go through this process. It takes 5 minutes. Now, this year, I'm going to be turning it up a notch. I'm actually spending half an hour every morning on my own intentions for the day. So what am I going to get done for the day? What are my biggest projects that I'm going to get done? What are the biggest outcomes that I want to get done? So like you'll have seen in my previous video about the Creator operating system, tasks are for amateurs, to-do lists are for amateurs, outcomes are for professionals. So if you really want to make a dent this year, you really need to start thinking about outcomes rather than inputs, rather than tasks. So the inputs result in outcomes, but tasks are just tick box exercises. Those are not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get outcomes. So we have actually that's the third level of accountability. There's a fourth level of accountability at CreatorLaunch, and that is reporting. So I get my students to report to me every single week, every single month is what we are going to be doing this year. And again, that's an innovation that I haven't seen in any other program, which is, again, I think something I know that is very unique that will absolutely continue on some of the results that we're getting. You know, I'm absolutely blown away. I got blown away on one of my first student calls for the year. One of my students broke the news to me on our first call for the year that he is now going to quit his full-time job in 6 weeks' time and go all in on his business because his first clients have gone so well and other people are coming in and trying to get him to do work, and we haven't even really started that much. We've only been working for 3 months, setting a foundation, and I was fucking gassed. I was so happy that day. Totally made my day. And when I think about like what it means to make an impact, like it's moments like those where I'm like, holy shit. And yeah, same thing the later that day, as soon as I got off that call, I got another message from another one of my students. And this was a student that I started working with 6 months ago. And when we started working together, he didn't have any direction, didn't have clarity. He was desperate for some clarity on where he was going to go, what he was going to do. He'd been doing this like cool stuff for a year, but it was like he was earning 10K a month, and like that was okay. He's got a family, he's got kids. He wants to get a new house. He wants to get a second house, but he's like, I don't know how to get there. And instead of just like saying, okay, let's do this, this, and this, I got him to dream. I got him to actually dream about the things that he wants. And 4 months later, so the outcome of the dream was that we had set the goal that he was going to make 30K per month within the 12 months, or within the next 12 months. And 4 months after we started working together, he told me that he had figured it out. It was he'd managed to get a bunch of clients, and he was on the run rate of 30K a month. And then 2 days ago, just after I got off this the coaching call, he told me that he just added another 8.5K contract to his like a 12-month 8.5K per month contract to his I guess his revenue, and that took him to close to 40K now. And so we are 6 months ahead of schedule. And yeah, the truth is that these are exceptional cases, because these are people who, like, they are people that want it, and they've done it for a year or so. They've been building their own thing for about a year. So these results don't come overnight. They're not. You're not going to get these results after, like, it only happened after 3 months for these guys, because they had been building for a year. And this is one thing that I want to get to you, which takes us on to our final piece, is the fourth element of the success equation. So we've got clarity, we've got proven systems or proven game plan, third is accountability, and the fourth is time. Now, when you stretch out your time horizon for success, and you are not just looking for the next quick win, those results that I just explained, where you go from 10K to 40K in a few months, happen because my client, he'd been building his consultancy for a year before we had started working together. So he was at 10K a month, but he just didn't have clarity, didn't have proven systems, didn't have accountability. He did have time on his hand. So when we added that in, we added in all three factors to that, he won. So that is my message to you. If you are looking to make 2024 your year, you have to ask yourself, do I have these four things covered? If you don't have proven systems, if you don't have mechanisms for accountability, if you don't have clarity on where you're going to get to, you can get these things. It doesn't have to be with me, does not have to be with me, but one of my biggest lessons for last year is that you can buy success through buying knowledge. Go find a mentor, join a program, go pay to figure it out. Last year when I paid $9,000 for education, I didn't have that money saved. So I figured it out. I made it happen. And guess what? Now things are clicking. So yeah, if you think those are useful, I would really love if you gave me a thumbs up. Please hit me with a comment. YouTube is going to be a big focus of mine this year. Finally want to break past that 10K mark. It's been like that for about 2 years now. So let's bust through that 10K mark together. We are going to be frequent on here, and we are going to be dropping absolute knowledge, and really just wanting to help you out as best we can. So please hit me with a like. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. And if you want to check out the Creator Operating System dashboard, I would highly recommend checking that out, because I've already been using it for just a week, and I know it's going to transform my life this year. And like I said, I've been building it for 3 years, testing it for 6 months, but it wasn't completely refined to the way it is now. Fuck me, I'm so happy. Honestly, super, super proud of that. So if you want to get it, link is down below, and I will see you in the next one.